Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Consequential Runner. So hello to everybody. And we have with us Coach Mark. Coach Mark, hello.
Yeah, hi, Darcy. How you going?
Yeah, I'm going great. I'm going great. And Coach Mark, thank you for coming on to these videos. When you come on to these videos, we have a burning question for you. The first one is, what is the best warm-up before a race? So I've heard many different things, and I've tried different things myself, and I've started to get to a point where I understand what I need, but there's probably some underlying fundamentals, some underlying principles we need to be aware of. So Coach Mark, share with us, what are some of the things we should be thinking about, or what are sort of the fundamentals of a great warm-up, the best warm-up before we race?
Yeah, what you're trying to achieve in a warm-up, Darcy, is you want to get your body ready to perform at its optimum. So that's in general terms. So in specific terms, you want to get the heart rate up. You want to get the blood to your muscles. You want to get used to running efficiently at the speed you need to run it, and get used to the effort that you need to run it as well.
Nice.
So those are the things. They're the key things.
When you talk about running efficiently at speed, talk us through what are sort of the tools or techniques we can do for that. So when you talk about getting the heart rate up, I imagine just nice and smooth, bring it up slowly, and then running efficiently at speed. I imagine that comes more towards the end, does it? And if so, what sort of things are we doing?
Yeah. So the running efficiently at speed is really what it all builds to, and that's the bit you do just before they fire the gun. So that involves doing drills, so that your body's used to moving and your legs are used to moving in the extreme sort of end of range of motion that you need to run fast, and then doing stride outs. Simple as that. And the key is that you do stride outs at the speed that you want to start at. So if you're running a 10K race, don't do flat out 100-meter sprints. That's not going to be of much use, because you want to run at the speed you're going to start your 10K race at. And you don't need to do long stride outs, but they need to be at that pace, because not only getting you used to running at that speed, but also to prevent you from going off too fast as well. So you've basically nailed that speed you're going to start at, eases anxiety, and you can then forget about people that launch off the start line full of adrenaline. You know what speed you're going to start at. You're going to get the first 30 seconds right, and then that's not a bad place to start in any race.
So for those that might be new to the term stride outs, let's talk about the mechanics of stride outs then. So what sort of distance are we looking at holding that starting speed for? So we're thinking about what is our starting speed, then we're working up during the stride outs to our starting speed. How quickly are we ramping up to that speed we want to start at? And starting speed might be the speed we're looking to hold for the first K. So how quickly are we getting up to that starting speed? And Coach Mark, how long do you think we should hold the stride out for, that length at that starting speed as part of our warm-up? And probably the third question I'll throw to you is, how many stride outs should we do?
Yeah. Well, your first stride out isn't likely to be at your starting speed, so we'll take a few stride outs to get up to your starting speed. Okay. The key is that you don't force it. What I in fact do is I run no more than 50 meters, and you might build up to 50 meters holding the speed and then slow down. So there's no dramatic acceleration or slowdowns. It's all safe. 50 meters isn't going to tire you out. There's no point doing a load of big long stride outs and being stuffed by the time it starts. So 50 meters is fine. I find it actually depends on the distance of the race. So that the shorter the race, the more stride outs. Longer the race, less stride outs generally.
And is that to prime the muscles? So for a shorter race, which is going to be a lot more aggressive, a lot more intense, are you saying more stride outs because it just primes the muscles more? You need them firing right at the start?
You do, yes. There's no warm up period in the race. For something like a half marathon, part of the challenge is not starting off too fast.
Yeah.
Plus, you've also got the added thing that you want to make the distance. You know, you'd feel pretty stupid if you did 2Ks worth of really solid stride outs and then you hit the wall 1K from the finish, for example.
You're talking to
So,
me, Coach
but
Mark. It
100
feels like you're
meters, I mean,
talking to me. All
yeah.
right, let's finish with this then. If let's talk to those people who do park runs or 5K, which I think is pretty standard. How many stride outs would you do for a park run for a 5K?
Yep, 4 or 5K, I would do 4 stride outs.
4 stride outs.
Yep.
50 meters each.
4 stride outs.
Too easy. Okay, last question.
Yep.
How soon before the start would you look to finish your stride out? So what's the gap? Because you probably don't want it too long. Doing your stride outs an hour before the race, probably not going to work. I don't know. I'll defer to you, Coach Mark. 2 seconds before you're about to start, I can talk to that. I've had that experience. Probably a bit sharp. So what's the time gap? What's the time gap between finishing your stride outs, let's say for parkrun for 5K, so you've done your 4-5 stride outs, and you're starting parkrun, what time gap are we looking at?
You'd want to finish within 5 minutes to be safe.
Nice.
Ideally, if you were real serious in an event, it'd be up to say a minute before, and then you'll go line up. But 5 minutes is good, and then that gives you that leeway that if things are delayed a little bit, one, you're not going to miss the start, and they have the briefing and everything. 2, if they're delaying things, you can just do another stride out just to sort of keep things topped up and ticking over. That's the sort of the fallback thing. If you find you've done all your stride outs and you're standing around, you think, oh, we're going to be a little while, just do another stride out. Walk around a bit, loosen up, another stride a little bit late. Always thinking, keeping loose and sharp, but not tiring myself out.
Perfect. Keep yourself primed. Okay, so let's recap and tell me anything I've missed, Coach Mark. So it's all about just increasing your heart rate, nice and slowly, but getting your heart rate increased and getting yourself primed. That's going to help you with a whole bunch of other things like anxiety and reducing it. I mean, you're going to be nervous anyway. Change that nervousness into just expending a bit of energy, getting yourself ready. Probably the key thing we can focus on is stride outs, performing stride outs. Ease yourself into that speed, but that speed will be your starting speed, what the speed you're going to run the first kilometer at, for example. Depending on the length of the run, if it's short and sharp, you probably do a few stride outs. If it's long, like a half marathon, if it's short and sharp, you'll do a good number of stride outs. If it's a half marathon, you're going to do a few stride outs. But what we picked is the 5K. And we're saying about 4 stride outs for your 5K of 50 meters each, and get them finished about 5 minutes before the start. But if you want to be extra primed and you feel like you might get a little bit cold, then make it sort of closer to 3 minutes or 2 minutes, especially if you can get to the start line easily. Don't fall on that trap of getting your stride outs done and then trying to walk through a myriad of people, a throng, 1,000 who try and get to the front of the start line. So those of you that are a little bit faster, make sure
you don't want one of your stride outs being getting to the start.
Coach Mark, have I missed anything there?
No, not really. No, that sums it up well. A big part of it actually is easing anxiety as well. If you have a set routine, you look at any top sports person, a goal kicker, someone over a putt, someone serving in tennis, they all have the same routine, and they will do that routine in training and in racing. So it doesn't matter if it's if there's hundreds of thousands of bucks resting on a putt. That's the same routine. There's that same mindset. You have a little routine that's yours. It leaves anxiety. You know all things go away. You're going to be ready to go when the gun fires.
Perfect. So build your own routine for your warm up. Finish with stride outs. You can't go wrong. We may have missed something. If we've missed something and you've got any questions you want to ask, just throw them in the comments below. If there should be some gold nuggets of information in this. So if you like the video, you know what to do. Hit like. If you want to stay in the loop, hit subscribe. And in the notes, and I'll also put it in the comments, if you want to reach out directly to Coach Mark and have Coach Mark as your coach, drop him a line. His email address will be in the notes. That's it. We love these short, sharp, and nutritionally rich bite-sized videos. So I'm going to say goodbye from me, Coach Mark.
Yep, it's bye for me as well.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks a lot, team. Catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.